Yo, what's happening, people? Okay, we are live right now, live from the village right now. Brax Bivvy in the place to bivvy in the house right now. It is 8 minutes past 8 right now, on the 20th of July 2023 right now. It is Thursday. We're about to play Alex Kidd right now. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX right now. We've been playing this game for a while. We're near the end. I'm not sure how close we are to the end, but we are near the end. Somewhere near the end. Possibly the last level. We can only hope. Maybe. Eesh. It looks like the last level. It's called Redaxian's Castle or something. Anyway, it's been a long time coming. But yeah, we are here. Anyway, let me switch over to this screen and chat to y'all for just a little bit. How you doing, Brax? How's your mom and them? Brax Bivvy in a place to bivvy. It is Thursday the 20th of July, 8 minutes past 8 p.m. with GMT where I is. Let's see. So Tuesday, yes, I had to cancel Tuesday's stream. That was my bad. I kind of, not even kind of, I did just kind of, I keep saying kind of, I did, it's not kind of, I did, I forgot, okay. I forgot we had builders coming around to fix the kitchen. Well, they're still fixing the kitchen, it's not done yet. But they were coming around on the Wednesday, so we had to move everything out the kitchen on the Tuesday evening. All the kind of last, especially the heavier things like the fridge and stuff like that. So they had to do that on the Tuesday, so I ended up having to cancel the stream. But I just forgot that was happening when I was saying, yeah, next live stream tomorrow, and I just, yeah. So that's my bad. Sorry, guys. But yeah, we should be doing the starting X-Files season 3 next week Tuesday. And then yeah, we're still doing what was it again? Commando for Monday movie night. But today it's Thursday. We're playing games. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX. Been at this for a minute. They're doing fine. Oh, that's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. But how you been, man? How's your day going? How's your day been? Appreciate you joining this live stream. Just got a message from Steam telling me that Red Dead Redemption 2 is on sale. I have Red Dead Redemption 2 on PS4. I would consider buying it again, but it would have to be like real cheap. Like right now, it's normally goes for £60. I'm not buying it again for £60. It's on sale at £19.79. Interesting. Interesting. They really want me to get that one. That's an interesting price, £19.79. But it's a good deal. I will say if you don't have Red Dead Redemption 2, £20 is definitely a good price for that game for sure, no doubt. I would say for myself, because I do already own it, I need it to be lower than that before I buy it again. Like I need it to be like sub £10 before I buy it again. Like maybe like £7 something. Like that kind of figure price, I'll consider buying it again. But £20, well, £19.79. Tempting considering the price, but yeah, not quite low enough for me, methinks. Basically, if I have it again, it'll be in a more convenient place for me on my PC rather than my PlayStation. I've got to get the disc out, put it in, load it up, do all the downloads and that whole thing, which of course can be done, but it's just kind of long. For me, it's much more convenient to have games on my PC, and Steam just being a place where you can buy games and they'll host the games and you can download it when you're ready. It's just much more convenient for me, so I'll do it. I'll buy it again. I've bought games more than once before, so you know I've done that before, but yeah, not at that kind of price. Like I feel like it's not cheap enough for me to just, you know what I mean, to just load it up. It's not quite that cheap. I need to be low. But anyway, you're doing all right. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Let me adjust this camera just a little bit. Adjust that a little bit. All right then. Well, that's some rambling done. Let me switch over to this screen now and see where we is. So Brax, let me ask you something real quick. Do you know much about this Carly Russell that I'm hearing about? Because I'm hearing about this Carly Russell girl, and something to do with being kidnapped, you know, saw a baby or something like that, and then it seems to be like there was no baby, and apparently she lied about being kidnapped. And yeah, it's not the first time that's happened, but yeah. What's going on? Like, do you know what's going on with that? What's going on with this actually? Here we go. There we go. All right, load game. Jenkins Castle. Okay, this is where he is now. It's got to be the last level. Just another crazy B dub. What's a dub? B dub heifer. I mean, I know heifer is a cow. I'm guessing B is the BITCH word. I don't know what dub is though. What's dub? You know, I can just do this. Actually, there's no point in me going this way because I can't get up there, so. But yeah, there seems to be a lot of crazy things going on that I'm hearing about lately. Like the whole NPC streams. I don't know if you heard about that as well. Yeah, but the NPC streams, you know about that? It's like girls acting as if they are NPCs from video games. Like, you know how non-playable characters kind of act in video games that kind of have that weird kind of dialogue talk. I mean, to me, that's just it. From what I saw, that's not what it sounds like to me. It sounds like something I can. Oh shit! Sounds like something else to me. But yeah, they're calling it NPC stream. Seems to be the name that kind of catches on. Yo, what up, Frozen G? Frozen G and a place to be. How is ye? Sam Barbie and a place to be. How is ye? Did you hear about the Tupac murder cells? Kinda, yeah. I did see they has like a new lead. Was that right? You know, I didn't do that quick enough. But yeah, I haven't seen sort of the latest on that. Did they catch the guy or? They caught him. Okay, so they found the actual person that actually did it. 27 years later. Tupac died at 25 years old. It took 27 years. It took longer than he was alive for to potentially find his murderer. That's crazy when you think about it. You ain't heard about that? Okay, okay, cool. Peachy, awesome. I don't know. Sam, look into the case. You have to look the B-Dub Urban Dictionary. Okay. So Brax just used a piece of slang on me. Call it, was it B-dub heifer or B-dub, I guess. I ain't know what that is. I'm apparently gonna have to look it up in the Urban Dictionary. Anybody here know what a B-dub is before I look it up? Ugh, can't even jump, bro. Black American slang. I mean, okay. Okay. B-dub is blah, alright. Won't tell me what, but you guys happy to hear about Elliot being killed? I was here all night. Oof, okay. Okay, wow. 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 We're all oh, this is this bit in it. Accomplices. Ooh. Oh, made it. Just oof. B-dub. Alright. I'm gonna have to look that up, I guess. So Sam has been here all night. I don't even think yeah. Oof, too close. Oof. I'm not even going to try and attempt to open that one because it's probably a... In fact, I think when I did, yeah, I think it was a ghost. Oof. Okay. Oh, it stays open as well. Cool. I need to get up, I guess, there. Alright, so the biggest, well, I don't know about the biggest thing, but one of the things I seem to be hearing about the most lately is this TikToker called Pinky Doll. Oh! They landed me though. Landed me right on top of this guy. Took the kids to Mackey's for tea, and as we was about to leave, Elliot wanted an apple pie. I did too, so I ordered us one to go. 25 minutes I waited just for him to say it was alright. Well, the apple pie was alright, or it was alright like, I don't want it no more. Careful. Oof. That's not being careful. I got stole all the way over again. No, McDonald's apple pies are pretty good actually. Like, I mean, I think I've said this before, but yeah, there's a few items on the McDonald's menu that I like. Like most of their stuff, I can do without. Like I'm not that good big on McDonald's, for a lot of reasons. Apple pie was just alright. It wasn't alright. It was delicious. Better be off in 25 minutes. But yeah, no, apple pies at McDonald's are pretty good. Like I feel like that's definitely one of the things that I say they do pretty well. The apple pies, their fries are usually pretty good as well. So yeah, and their milkshakes are quite nice as well. I mean, I would say in my opinion, their milkshakes are probably like the best cheap milkshakes. Like if you want better than McDonald's milkshakes, you're going into like the more premium milkshake range, you know, like the sort of 5, 6, 7 pound milkshakes and above. If you ain't trying to spend that kind of money and you just want to keep it on the low, you know what I mean? McDonald's milkshakes are probably the best cheap milkshakes in my opinion. But yeah, I do like the apple pies, man. They're pretty good. You get them when they're hot, and you just kind of bite into them and just, yeah, the apple pies are pretty good. Can't be a making you wait 25 minutes and you get it, it's like, sorry. It's a slap. Next time, just order 2 for yourself. Make him watch you eat it. This was hot and beautiful, and he deserves a slap in the face. With a blunt object. Ooh. Elliot, you done effed up. Yeah, when it comes to McDonald's apple pies or your lifelong partner, so of course it's gonna be apple pie. Like it's gonna be the apple pie. It's like, come on. Their chocolate pies are horrible. You know, I don't think I've had their chocolate pies actually. Their cheese is actually not too bad. The thing about their cheese though is that it's so salty. Oof, that was too close. Like their cheese is mad salty, but like it works with their food, you know, like with their like muffins and stuff. Like their cheese works for that. They got like these millionaire donuts. That ain't too bad. So we've got the chocolate pie, the chocolate. It's a bit of. I've made a few brownies as well, which I tried once. I don't remember what I thought of them, but I guess they were kind of forgettable in the end, to be honest with you. Eesh. Got it. But yeah, McDonald's survives because it's cheap. Like, it's cheap and convenient. But they put their prices up not that long ago, like maybe in the last I want to say a few months, maybe a bit longer. But it's not super long ago they put their prices up. Like the coffee used to be 99p, now it's like £1.20. It's like, that's not okay, McDonald's. Like, you don't get to put your prices up when you don't have that kind of quality. Like I said, they've got some good stuff, I ain't saying that, but they don't really have that kind of quality to be putting your prices up. Like, no, it's not what McDonald's is. McDonald's is cheap and convenient. Granted, they're still convenient and they're probably still cheaper than most places. Aye. Oh, jeez, I've come all this way just for this. I'm so tempted to just put the infinite. Oh, flipping hell. I'm so tempted to just put the infinite live thing on and just like. If I put infinite lives on, means I won't get any achievements. So the question is, how much do I care about getting achievements? Mills is not right. Exactly, it's not what it is. They got some stuff that is like, okay, yeah, that's actually banging. Most of it is just meh, but for the price you pay, for the convenience of not going all the way into town or whatever, it's fine. It's fine. They start putting prices up though, and it's like, nah, this is not what we do, McDonald's. This is not what we do. Alright, so yeah, one of the things I'm hearing about a lot in the internet space is about this TikToker called Pinky Doll. She's not the only one doing this, but she seems to be the most popular one doing it. It's called NPC streams, and it's the weirdest thing. It really is. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, but it is the weirdest thing. Like, it's apparently it's acting as if you're an NPC character, right? In a video game, and it seems like most like very anime inspired to me. Like that's what it comes across to me. But it's so weird. But oh shoot, toxic. But she's doing it, and it's very popular, and apparently making a lot of money from it. So of course, you know, the internet has words. And the next thing I'm hearing, like on Twitter today, perhaps the reason why it's so weird is that apparently she tells people she's like 15 years old, even though she's really 27, because like they call it pedophile baiting or something. Like you want people to think you're younger than you are, so they could spend. It's like, yeah. The internet is a strange place, and there's a lot of strange people in it. But that's got to be one of the weirdest things, if not the weirdest thing I've heard about in a long time. I've heard some pretty weird stuff in my day that I think is definitely up there with amongst the weirdest things. Like, it's basically content that is designed for pedophiles. Yo, what up, Lil Jakes? So even though she's not a minor, she tells people she is. And I guess she looks young for her age. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I wouldn't yeah, let me not even go there actually. But yeah, tells people she's a minor, and yeah, makes money off her OnlyFans with that. Oh yeah, because it all channels to her OnlyFans. So I was like, oh yeah, this is one of the weirdest things, if not the weirdest thing I've heard about in a good long minute. So congratulations to Pinky Doll for being the weirdest thing I've heard about in a lot. It's crazy. Like, at first I was looking at it like, I don't get it, but whatever. Now it's like, yo, this is a thing. But yeah, it's a thing. So prophecy, yeah, prophet of pedos, apparently. Apparently. Yeah. Good time. What little Jakes? What up? Little Jakes in the place. Oh, flipping hell, man. I'm doing alright, man. I'm doing alright. I ain't doing too badly myself. We're getting the kitchen done, so they're in the middle of doing that. Well, I don't know about the middle, but they're doing it. They took up the floor. The main thing with the kitchen really is that the floor needed to be done. The floor was really bad. Like, it was dipping in the middle, or not in the middle, but near the middle. And because we have to take up the floor, you have to take up all the fittings and the furnishings and stuff like that. And once you do that, it's like, okay, well, it's an old kitchen. It's I guess we're buying new stuff. So yeah. So they took up the floor. They've put a new floor in. The new floor definitely a much better material. And now it's just to yeah, do the fitting all the new cabinets and all that sort of stuff in there. Ish. You guys got any plans for the weekend? Same thing I do every weekend. Try to take over the world. Well, not quite. Well, maybe a little bit. No, I'm just working cab work over the weekend. That's typically my weekends. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays is mostly filled with cab work. And I'll try to fit in a few other things as well, of course. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, as they say. But yeah, mostly cab work, mostly driving around and doing that. Watch the rest of the Scream movies. I forgot this weekend. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna try and watch that Scream 6 next week if I can, actually. I did watch Extraction Part 2. I watched Martyrs again, actually. I watched that today. So yeah, Scream 6 coming soon. Text, okay, my For You page is flooded with Alpha Baffa. Is that the name of the creator? Alpha Baffa? Sounds like a witch. I'm gonna have a marathon movie session. Nice. Or all Scream movies? Or just other stuff as well? Extraction 2 is on Netflix. I might watch that tonight. It's definitely worth watching. Extraction 1 and 2 are both pretty good. I'd be definitely interested to see a third movie. I think the way it ended, they can do a third movie and just have it as a really cool trilogy. So yeah, worth watching. With Martyrs on a second watch, I mean, I guess the first time I watched it, I kind of got the story, you know, and but because it's, you know, in a foreign language and I'm doing the chat, I knew I was missing some things here and there. I guess to be fair, I don't think I missed as much as I thought I might have. But yeah, you definitely kind of understood it a bit better, and you know the whole kind of religious aspect to it as well, and the reason why they were you know, torturing these girls, because they wanted to know what lies beyond, and this idea of, you know, seeing death or seeing what happens after death while still being alive, you know. And they're trying to recreate that, and of course the first time it happened, well, not the first time, but they were trying to do it before, but you know, Lucy ended up escaping, um, and then I guess the other girl, they just kind of tortured her, and it never happened with her. Um, but yeah, I mean, I liked how they kind of reveal it bit by bit, so you don't quite know, you know, what's going on in the beginning, and then it's only sort of, I think about halfway, maybe a little over halfway through, you kind of get more of the backstory as to what they were doing. It's like, oh, okay. Because when you see the family at first, they look like a regular, schmegular family, and then it's like, go knock on the door, bang, and you find out these horrible things they're doing. And then I also liked how Anna, you know, she didn't necessarily believe, or her the whole way, at least. I mean, she would have believed something, but she didn't necessarily believe her about everything. And there was always doubts with Anna, but Anna stuck with her though. She was her friend throughout the whole thing. So even though she had her doubts, she stuck with her. Um, but those doubts were kicking in when it's like, okay, I don't know if I want this person to get killed. I don't know if they really did anything wrong. And then of course after Lucy dies and she sees the full extent of what they were doing, is like, you know, please forgive me. So yeah, yeah, good movie, good movie. Screen 1 and 2. Screen 1 was better than Screen 2 in my opinion. I know Screen 1 is widely considered the best out of the series, but what's the second best? I mean, Screen 1. I mean, I guess it depends on how you define him best. Like, I think it's probably going to be most people's favorites because it's the first one, and that's typically how it goes. In terms of best, though, I mean, how we defining best? Like, we talking best in terms of story, best in terms of like acting, you know, in terms of scares, in terms of plot twists. Um, I mean, the plot twist in one is definitely top tier plot twist for sure. Uh, what's your favorite Scream? I mean, it's been a little minute since I've seen them all, but from memory, I'm probably gonna go with three. Um, I really liked what they did with five. Four, I enjoyed, but I did kind of feel like that wasn't super necessary. It never felt like it needed to be made, which is a shame because it ended up being Wes Craven's last Scream movie. Um, but the whole film just felt like it's fine, but not particularly needed, you know, to me. Um, Scream 2 did some really cool stuff with, you know, Laurie Metcalf and, uh, you know, the whole kind of students and stuff like that. And of course, yeah, Scream 1 with the twist at the end when you find out, ooh, that's the killers. I was like, okay, I did not see that coming. But yeah, I like 3 mainly because um, I felt like that was a really cool end to the story. Um, you know, it's a trilogy, like 1, 2, 3, beginning, middle, end, and I liked that. I mean, I forget his name right now, but you know the character who knows all about horror movies, and he's always like the one who says that she didn't show tits and says you went legit. It's like that one. I forget his name, Jamie, I think. But yeah, he was for me one of the most interesting characters throughout the whole Scream movies, and kind of kept both the humor and the seriousness of it all. And I think for him to be able to do that as an actor, as the way the character was written, so yeah, I really like the character. I liked that they found a way to bring him back for free. Oh, spoiler, my bad. Sorry, I said too much. I said too much. I said too much. Sorry, I've said too much. Um, but yeah, I liked what they did with free. So yeah, I'll probably say one. Yeah, that's probably like the one that stands out the most, I'm sure. But I think for me, I'm gonna go with three as a favorite. Yeah, this is what I'm interested in. Okay, it's a depressing movie though, ain't it? Oh, for sure. Especially as it kind of unfolds and you listen what these sick freaks were doing. Okay, Days Gone, but I haven't played it yet. I'm gonna play it tomorrow. Okay, nice. Yeah, it's a decent game. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think once you do start playing. I'm to go with the original Jacob as much as I urge on Scream 6 because of the end. There are some anxiety-inducing moments for sure. Nice. Yeah, if we're going with like the scariest, I don't know if I'd consider any of them scary. Um, because I think the thing is that they all have their levels of intensity, but then they also have a lot of um, ways of lightening the intensity as well. So it never really fully lets you sit in that intensity, you know. You know what I mean? Like sometimes a movie could be intense, and it won't let up, and it just let you sit in that intensity. There will be no light jokes or comic relief, nothing like that. It would just let you sit in that intensity. Scream doesn't really do that. At least at the movies I've seen, like they have their moments of intensity, um, but then there'll be like maybe a joke afterwards or something, or maybe not right away, for sure. Not always like right away, but at some point they'll cut the tension, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what's the scariest. They're probably about the same as each other. Yo, what up, Reese? Reese's Pieces in the Pieces. It's weird on my screen. All the comments appear on my chat box. Okay. Um, if you look at the top of the chat box, there might be an option that says live chat, or it might say top chat and have like an arrow, a downwards arrow next to it. If it says top chat, click the arrow and change it to live chat, and that should show everything. I can handle martyrs. I'm sure you can handle martyrs. It's yeah, I'm sure you can handle it. You're a big boy now. I'm sure you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Martyrs is less scary and more just disturbing. Thanks for the tip. That's probably where I'm going wrong. Nah, it's fine. It wouldn't be something you're doing wrong. It's just YouTube is a bit of a bitch sometimes, to be honest with you. Check with my own side. I think that's done the trick. Awesome. Now I just had this similar issue with mine where it wouldn't be showing me all the chat. And I'm thinking, what's going on? Why am I missing stuff? And then you click at the top and it's like, oh, that's why. But yeah, I don't even know why they even have that as a option. Like, why would you not want to? Well, actually, to be fair, I guess depends on how busy your live streams are. It might be a good might be a good thing to have. But what's annoying though is that it constantly changes it back to the top chat one, which is the one I don't want. It doesn't just leave it on, you know, what I put it on. So every time I come back, I have to remember to change it to live chat. I don't know if it does the same on your end. You know, I ain't gonna bother with this just yet. It's kind of long. Not really needed. It's scary and the normal removing senses just into yeah. I might check out the remake of that actually. Now that I've fully watched the original, I might watch the remake at some point. I don't imagine it's well, you never know. Sometimes you can be pleasantly surprised. Yes, that's not what I'm thinking of. It's a psychological thriller. Yeah, that'd be about right. That'd be about right. Rated. The remake is also trash. Oof. Oh, damn it. No, if I'm still playing this game by next week, I'm just going to do the infinite live stream, because this is nonsense, man. Like, it's just long having to do all this stuff again. Ay, ay, ay. Bit too intense for me. Just overly gory and stuff like the human centipede. Standing overly torturing. Human centipede, I've never seen that, but I heard it's sick. Yeah, I ain't seen that one either, but Oof. Oof. I ain't seen it either. I've seen human centipede and honestly I was bored. Oosh. Here's a question then. What's a film that was hyped, like really, really hyped, and then when you finally saw it, it was just meh? A film that was so hyped, maybe one that you were really looking forward to as well, and then you saw it and it was just meh. Avatar, yeah, that's definitely one. I haven't seen the second Avatar movie yet, but yeah, the first one was just meh. Wasn't necessarily terrible, just meh. Who's that? What the fuck's going on? It takes some serious Human Centipede. Alright, Avatar's definitely one for me. Let me try and think of another one that was really, really hyped. I kind of want to say Sixth Sense, but I think to be fair, one of the main reasons it was just meh for me is that the ending was already spoiled. You know, so I already knew how what the twist was, what the plot twist was. Perhaps had I not known a plot twist, I'd have a different opinion of it. You know, but yeah, that's one that was really really hyped. And by the time I finally saw it, it was like, I mean, it's alright, but just meh. Human Centipede 2 is gross. Oof. I might have to watch that one then. It's all time I was on top chat instead of live chat. The thing is, like, I don't know. YouTube don't really make that obvious though. They don't make it obvious, and they like just do things that in weird ways. Blair Witch. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Oof, what else for me? I don't know, I guess it's been a while since I've really just been meh with about a movie. Actually, I'll tell you a movie that a lot of people seem to not like, and I thought was actually pretty good. Matrix Resurrection. A lot of people didn't seem to like that movie very much. I kept hearing about how bad it is. And then when I finally saw it, I was like, yeah, it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's not brilliant, for sure. And it's certainly not, in my opinion, on par with the original. But it's a pretty solid film, you know. So, Gravity. Okay, I did see that actually. Yeah, yeah. Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, I think, is in it as well. No, PlayStation 3, right? I have a PlayStation 3. It's not plugged in. It's kind of covered in about 4 or 5 years worth of dust, but I have one. Yeah, sure. Oh wait, that was a question for Sam. My bad. Sorry, my bad. I just invaded a question that wasn't made for me. My bad. I'm sorry. Active panic attack. Yeah, I remember watching it. I don't remember I mean, I think I thought it was okay. I don't remember having any. I guess I don't really remember having any strong opinions about Gravity. Um, I don't remember a lot of the movie. I think, in fact, yeah, I guess like 2 hours of a panic attack is probably about right, because I think it is pretty much Sandra Bullock. I mean, there's other actors, but Sandra Bullock is pretty much the whole movie by herself for the most part. I think all the other actors are just by voice only. Um, I think, or maybe there's somebody in the beginning. I don't remember, but I know most of the movie is just her. But yeah, I don't remember having any strong opinions on that one. But yeah, maybe 2 hours of panic. That's probably about right. Can't stand, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. She did Scream, not Scream. Sorry, Speed. That was a good movie. The first one was a good movie. The second one was not so much. Um, what else has Sandra Bullock been in? What's a good movie Sandra Bullock has been in? She did that movie with Ryan Reynolds, The Proposal or something like that. That was a pretty decent movie. Do you prefer this version of Alex Kidd? I mean, I guess it's exactly the same as the original game, just with improved graphics. I haven't really changed anything outside of the graphics, so it's the same really. I guess it's the new graphics are nicer, but yeah, they haven't really changed anything fundamental about the game. So I mean, it's alright. I don't know if I prefer it. I haven't played the original for like 30 years or more at this point, so yeah, I guess it's the same game really, just looks nicer. The old school the old school 8-bit graphics, yeah. He's in my game. My husband called his watching. He died of a heart attack. Now she is planning again with another wealthy guy. Oh, that bitch. Oh, I hope he leaves a nothing in the well. It was Bullock in the Abyss. The Abyss is a brilliant movie. Alright, this is for you, little Jakes. New school graphics, old school graphics. Spend more time to game. No, I hear that. I hear that. I mean, I guess to be fair, I probably do pretty okay in terms of gaming time. I probably do better than I think I do. But yeah, I definitely wish I had more. I ain't gonna, you know. I feel like most of what I do in life is so that I can just play games. Like, you know, everything I do is so I can get back to a point where I can just play games. Like, in fact, I saw this video, I think it was on TikTok of all places as well, actually, where this guy was saying that, and he was talking about guys and how guys just want to do nothing. Guys are motivated by the desire to do nothing. Now, of course, this is not accurate. There's plenty of guys that you know, go-getters and all that. Yeah, but I do think there's a lot of truth to what you were saying, which is that a lot of times we're just motivated by the prospects of doing nothing. Like, we get a job so that we could pay the bills and do all that stuff, and then get back to doing nothing, you know, and then everything else is just so that we can get back to do nothing. So if there's a problem, you solve the problem so we can get back to doing nothing. You know, like, it's all motivated by you just want to do nothing. And yeah, I was hearing that. I was like, you know what, I think there's some truth to this. I think there's maybe quite a lot of truth to that, actually. It's being motivated by the desire of one day you can just do nothing. You know, like, that's what it's all. Oh, flipping out. You're motivated to do nothing sounds like a contradiction terms. Oh, sorry, motivated. Wait, what did I say? What did I say? I might have said that wrong. Motivated to do nothing. Wait. Motivated by the prospects of doing nothing, so that you do something just so you can get back to doing nothing. Is effectively what you're saying. The things that we do is all so that we can just get back to doing nothing, because you can't just do nothing. Things will fall apart, and if things fall apart, you can't do nothing. Right? So you have to do something so that things don't fall apart, but you do it so that you can get back to doing nothing. Yeah. And yeah, but I was like, you know what? I think there's truth to that, man. I think this kid might be onto something. I think this kid might be onto something. You know, it's like, you know what? It's like, if you can just do nothing, we'll just do nothing. But the problem is that you do nothing, your bills don't get paid, you ain't got no house, And then once you lose all that stuff, you can't do nothing because you won't have anything to do nothing with. You know, you just end up starving somewhere in the streets if you did that. So you get a job, you pay your bills, and then once that's all done, that extra time is so you can do nothing. Get back to where you were, content like when you were. Start overload for me. Watching the original. Oh, content, not content. So I read that wrong. Content. Yeah, like just get back to that kind of when you was a kid, and then loads of things just didn't matter. You get to adult years, and you just can't do that. So it's like, okay, fine, I'll do something. But once I'm done doing something, I want to go do nothing. You know. Myself work so I can chill out. Yeah, I live for my days off. Doesn't sound like a very fun life being part of the system. The retro games are dope as fuck, oh, for sure. Yeah, being part of the Matrix. Unfortunately, we're all tied to it in some way. All part of the system in some way. Even when we think we is not, we is. Ain't working, but it's necessary evil for a better world. Yeah, I mean, I don't like when I was in school. People used to say like, you know, find a job doing something you enjoy, right? And that's of course good advice. I'm not saying it's not, but I don't think it's really the full advice of that, because of course you should do something you enjoy doing, and if you can make a living doing something you enjoy doing, that's even better, right? But what happens in school typically is like, or when you start getting into the work arena, it's less about finding something you enjoy, and it becomes more about trying to get you to enjoy something that you're only doing for the money. Like most of us, we get a job because we just want money to, you know, buy clothes and impress girls, right? Unless you're a girl, then you might want to impress boys. I don't know what girls do, but the point is like you want a job for just so you can get money, right? But from the beginning, you kind of buy into this system of not letting that be known. Now it's not like it's a secret, but it's like, you know, you go to the interview and you say, oh well, you know, I've always wanted to work in you know, customer focused fields, and you know, I feel like with my skills and my experience, you know, you say all that nonsense when you go to a job interview, right? Ah, flipping out, because it's all part of like buying into this system. But the truth is, you do it because you want money. You don't do it because you like the job. That's not to say that you can't like your job. And certainly, I've had jobs where, you know, on some level, I have enjoyed them, but not. I wasn't doing it because like I've always wanted to do this. No, it's like you do it for the money. And what makes a job enjoyable is the people that you're with. You know, the staff that you have, the co-workers. You know, the management. You know, that's the type of things that can make a place enjoyable to be at. But you're not doing it because like you've always wanted to do this, and you've always dreamed. It's like, no, you want your money, you're trying to do your things, and that shouldn't be a bad thing. That shouldn't be ever considered a problem. But unfortunately, It is like if you said that in an interview that, look, I'm just here because you're paying me to do this job, and you know, and I'll do it to the best of my ability while you're paying me to do it. If you said it in an interview, they won't employ you. They'll take on the guy who's going to say things like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to work at GlaxoSmith Shotgun Bastard and Dribbles. You know what I mean? They're going to take on that guy who's going to spit a whole bunch of nonsense, a whole bunch of lies in an interview because it sounds good. Nobody really wants the truth, right? Nobody really wants the truth. They say they want the truth, but they don't. Oh, flipping out. But yeah, it should never be a problem to just have a job and be like, you know what, I'm doing this because this is what I do for money. And I'll do it to the best of my ability. And, you know, I'm not going to be, well, maybe not be too lazy. You know, oh, no, that was my bad. But, you know, you do it to the best of your ability. But and at the end of the day, it's like, I want my me time. You know what I mean? Like when I finish work and I go home, I don't need you calling me up and asking me if I want to do overtime. I've done my time. Now it's me. This is why I have a job, so I could. Because when you start getting into overtime stuff, and it's like you're just working all the time, and people start calling you up, and you start saying yes because when you say no, it's a problem. People start trying to make you feel bad for saying no. Or maybe you're trying to see if you can get a promotion and you don't want to turn down the overtime because they might give it to somebody else because he's more of a go-getter. So you feel that kind of pressure into doing stuff when you don't really want to. But it should never be an issue. Just be like, you know what, I'm doing this for the money. And when I go home, I do something else I actually want to do. I'll take in. You're doing something you actually enjoy, getting money off it. That's when you're winning, for sure. For sure. But that's something that that most people don't get to achieve, unfortunately. But the thing is, even if you don't get to that stage where you can do something that you enjoy for that pays you, and you don't have to do anything else, even if you don't get to that stage, it's so important to make time for things that you do enjoy, even if it doesn't make you money. You know, even if you're not getting big bucks out of it. You know, just doing something that you enjoy just because you enjoy it. You know, and even if you could spare 5 minutes a day or 5 minutes a week, just make time for yourself. You know, it's so important to make time for yourself. I don't think we do that enough as a society. I don't think we do that enough. You know, I think we think of like me time and we think, oh, I must do what other people do. It's like, no, what is it that interests you? That's why I honestly believe that there is a big difference between a job and a career. And when I say everybody should have a career, but not everybody should have a job. Oh, sorry, everybody should have a career, but not everybody necessarily needs a job. Is what I was going to say. Because a career, by definition, is something that you progress with, not necessarily something that pays you. If it does pay you, great, but it really just means progression. The word career really just means progression. And if you enjoy something, then you want to keep doing it. You want to get better at it. You want to progress through it. That's your career. And if your career doesn't pay you, okay, but that's when you get a job. Oh, flipping hell, man! Walking into these. You know, that's when you get a job. You know, so you have a career, something that you enjoy, something that is important to you. And if your career doesn't pay, cool, you keep doing it. But that's when you get a job, so that pays you, so you can keep doing your career. And it's always wanted to be a bus driver. He likes driving, and now he is a supervisor. He is now wants to claim ranks. I'm the supervisor. I don't just drive the bus, I am the bus. But yeah, yeah, if that's that case, and Elliot sounds like he's one of the few people who's doing something as a career that he genuinely has a passion for, and that's really cool. Oof. As you sound like me, I never do overtime. I would say I never do overtime. Well, I mean, I've done plenty of overtime in my working days, in my regular job working days. Technically, what I do now, I guess, doesn't count as overtime. It's just the hours I want to do, right? But yeah, back when I was working in offices and places like that, I've done plenty of overtime. But for the most part, it was actually, no, to be fair, sometimes it was because I was like, okay, I could do a little extra cash, let me do it. And there was a few times where I requested overtime because you need extra money. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of times where I just did it because you don't want the hassle of somebody going, oh, but we need you, we need you, and it's like you end up just giving in when you don't really want to do it, and it's that's definitely happened a few times. I ain't gonna lie. I worked for a housing association as an electrician for 12-ish years. I could never go back to that. Felt like I'd come out of prison when I left. Oof. Yeah, I know that feeling though. Well, maybe not quite like that, but yeah, I get you. 3 times much more valuable than money for sure, 100%. Because it's your time and there's so much you can do with it. When you learn to invest in yourself, when you learn to start investing in yourself, there's so much you can do with your time. Whether it makes money or not is irrelevant. There's so much you can do with your time. So if I went that way, I would have not had the issue. Right. I think my work colleagues who are killing themselves doing overtime. It's a lot. Oh, facing the wrong way, and I slid off the flipping thing. Oh, come on, man. You're not doing overtime on your deathbed. You won't. Yeah, not spending time with your loved ones though. Yeah. There's a song by Billy Ray Cyrus. It's called Busy Man. And one of the lines in the song says, have you ever seen a headstone with these words? If only I had spent more time at work, Exactly, you can miss me with that ish. Overtime, never. Agree, shifts, and that's it, yeah. I'm the same Jacob. Half full, I'm gone. They could. Again. 25. It's in the obvious, but to me, work is an undesirable place, and I intend to spend as little time as possible. Yeah, no, I get that. Do it because you got to do it, and while you're there, you try to not go insane, right? You try to not go insane. You try to do what you can to make it as bearable as you can, and certainly the type of people you work with would help with that, or they could help or hinder, really. But yeah, once your shift done, I'm done. tax is a piss take. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I don't even think tax is in and of itself a bad thing in terms of like paying into a system so that there could be certain services that help people. Like the general idea of it is sound, but let's be honest, that's not what a tax is being used for. Not really. Like it's largely being used to just like line politicians' pockets. You know, like the people who actually need that money and the resources and services that actually need that money get so little of it, if anything. You don't get to say what it's used for. What's interesting though is like when I started being self-employed and I was looking up about how to like file taxes and stuff like that, on the government website, it was HMRC, like there is a wealth of information. Like it's actually an impressive amount of information about tax and about, you know, what words mean and all this sort of stuff. That like you can learn a lot about tax on the government website. And then it kind of occurred to me, it's like, of course there's that much information on the website. Like they want their money. They want their money and they want no excuses. Like, so of course they put all the information about how to pay taxes, what to pay, what to claim, da da da. Of course that's there. They want to get their money. Oh, by the way, speaking of tax, here's something that might help you guys out. And it's definitely worth checking into. But if you are employed, this doesn't really count if you're self-employed because you kind of file it yourself anyway. But if you are employed, where your employer gives you, was it a P60 every year that has how much tax you've paid for the year and how much, like, you know, your deductions and you know, what you've been earning and what your tax. Oh, I think it's called a P60. They give you each year. Check the amount you've been paid over the year against how much tax you've paid over the year, because there is a very high chance that you've actually overpaid your tax. Yeah, and it's, to be fair, it's not so much that they're trying to rip you off, although you know they kind of are, but it's just more to do with how these things are filed, especially like if you're employed, where you might earn some money this month, you might earn a different amount next month, and then another amount next month, and the following month you're earning a different, you know, when it's like that, by the time you get to the end of the year, chances are your taxes are overpaid. And although in some cases they would send you back the tax automatically, most times they won't. But you can claim back up to, I think, 4 years, I believe, 3 or 4 years worth of tax that you've overpaid. So yeah, get your P60s from your employer for the last like 3-4 years or whatever. Check what you've paid and what you should have paid, and if you've overpaid, which is likely the case, then yeah, claim it back. And that could be like, you know, a nice check in the post. The system is bullshit. That's Patreon gonna have me reaching for Stephen tablets at this point. Oh wait, I've been something that you can't get a doctor's appointment for a dentist on or there's an NHS. The roads are all fast, but they pluck billions out their asses for track and trace or money. You're right, you know what I mean? And was it now that, was it 300 or whatever billion that we give into the EU that we don't have to give them anymore? So what happened to that money now that we're not in the EU right now? What happened to that money? What was that 300 or whatever billion it was? I can't remember the number, but it was something billion, 3 billion or whatever. Where is that? Where's that? Chip cost the taxpayer. I'm back. Another duty's called, and that's so good. I don't remember that black. I don't remember that black actually, but yeah, I mean these guys are crooks, so yeah. Okay, for other people to have a Christian. I mean, you kind of are. I mean, you kind of are. Maybe not cushy, to be fair. It's probably not like that, but yeah, you kind of are. I mean, there's definitely people out there who are living off benefits, and not like. That sounded so bad when I said. I appreciate that. That sounded worse than I intended. Benefits are important to have because they're needed. For a lot of people do need them because let's be honest, like pay is shit, and a lot of times. What I mean is that there are a lot of people out there who are abusing the benefit system. And there's not a whole lot being done about it. Okay, yeah, I think I remember seeing that, yeah. Never mind, I have it in the house. Not seen as essential. And yeah, I continue. You know, I contribute. Use is an understatement. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Oof. Got him. Oof. I can't get up there. We going down, I guess. Oh wait. Oof. We could swim in this water. Oof. Oh yeah, you see, and it's literally a top up. I'm lucky if I get 300 a month, and there's people who milk it. Yeah. Like there's people out there who have purposefully. Oh no, we've got this to deal with now. There's people out there who have purposefully got themselves pregnant. Like, you know, I'm talking like put a hole in a Johnny type thing. Because having a baby puts you on a high priority list when it comes to council housing. Like, people have done that. That is crazy. That somebody would purposefully do that. Oh, flipping out. Am I supposed to get past this? Oh, jeez, too. Oh, my word. I might just do this bloody cheat, man. This is nonsense the way they made this level so hard. Employing people get free dental treatment and free surgery and other stuff, and I have to pay through the house for everything. They did the same shit in the days of Rome. Get 80%. So marriage expertise keeping everyone fixated on bullshit. I'm just ranting. It's alright. Rant away. People never generally need the scammers that I stand. Sorry, I get annoyed with people who milk the system. yeah, there's people out there who do all they can to just like keep scamming. And I think to be fair, the way the current system is, and certainly the way our governments are, it kind of encourages people to do it. You know, it kind of encourages people to kind of cheat the system. Of course, they wouldn't say it like that, but it kind of does. It kind of does. Well, that's easy. You know, it's an easy system to abuse. Let's take it, yeah. It's also how it's done as well. Like, for example, I remember I knew this one lady who I think at the time, before they called it universal credit, it was called child support or something like that. But you know, same similar sort of thing. And she was saying that she was receiving some help from, you know, the child support help from the government. And she was talking about how she would like to do more hours, like work full time. No, wait, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Yeah, no. So I think it was that she did wanna no, because I know she wasn't trying to scam the system. It was more so that she did wanna work properly, but wasn't being offered the appropriate hours because the hours they were offering her would have put her into a category where they'll take away the child support, but the money she'd be earning won't be enough to actually cover, you know, bills and stuff like that. So it's at that point where you're earning enough to not receive help, but you're not earning enough to actually, you know, pay your bills, take care of your child, and stuff like that. So for her, it was like she had to keep turning down certain things because like they just weren't offering her enough hours to make a real difference. Um, so yeah, it's like if you had a system where it's like, okay, maybe they don't give her the full thing, but they'll give her maybe a bits of it to still help her out. She might have been able to take some of those other jobs, but because they weren't, it was like you get to that bit and everything goes. She has to stay working on the lower hours. You'd have been better off not. Well, she might have been actually. She might have been. But that's someone who doesn't necessarily want to cheat the system, but it's like, what can you do? You gotta make sure you add enough money to take care of your child, all right? Oh wait, income support. Yeah, yeah, that's probably what it's called actually, income support. Haters of this country who are able to work and is also despicable. Be right back. They gave people like me a bad name and then it works full time. I'm not sure. It depends on how much you work. It'd be nice if I could go back to work and come off completely from a situation where they could. This isn't possible at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, taking care of. Actually, wait a minute. You have three kids, right? Three children. Is that right, Sam? Like, you got one big one and then two little ones. Is that right? Because I saw that picture you posted, I think like maybe a day or two ago, and I swear it was like three little kids, or one of them like maybe your niece or something. But yeah, I mean, you're taking care of like at least 2 kids, right? At least two. And I ain't gonna put out your business, or even though I think you've already said it anyway. But there's you know situations there that needs extra help. One was your niece. Oh, okay, cool, gotcha. Look at the best of both worlds. Even the house cleaning, cooking, doing all the laundry, shopping, picking kids up, etc. This was the one in the middle. Okay, that's the not the tallest one, was it? It was like the yeah. I think I remember the picture. Cool. Tall one was Sophie. Yeah, that's why it's going to be Queen one day. Got to stay on her good side. And when she's Queen, I'm going to make sure that she pardons me for all the crimes I start committing. So yeah, definitely got to stay on her good side. You got Starwing. Starwing? I was playing that the other day. Oh, Starwing the game. Starwing. That was. What was that? SNES? Was like I mean, I remember playing that like way back in the day, like the SNES one, and then the 64 one. The 64 one was actually called Lilac Wars. And then later it became Star Fox. I think on the GameCube they called it Star Fox, but no, Star Fox was the SNES one. Then it became Lilac Wars. Or was it Lilac Wars? I can't remember. But yeah, there's two different names. One of them is Lilac Wars, and one of them is Star Fox. I forget which one's which. But yeah, there's Lilac Wars, Star Fox. It's all like the same dude, Fox McCloud, and Falcon and Slippy the Toad, and yeah, them ones. Yeah. Was it Starwing or Star Fox? Maybe I'm confused myself actually. It had different names in different parts of the world as well, so there is that. Okay, so yeah, Star Fox 64 was known as Lilac Wars in PAL region. So yeah, if you're in the UK, it would have been called Lilac Wars. In other parts of the world, it would have been called Star Fox. And then yeah, Star Fox was a SNES game. Okay. Star Fox in America, in the US, yeah. Yeah, they had to change the name for some reason. I think it was something to do with like not confused with Star Wars or something like that. But yeah, I played those back in there. I never played the later the GameCube ones though. I never played those. I don't know what they're like. But yeah, Star Fox, I played that. That was excellent. I remember that. That was one of my favorite games at the time on the SNES. And then when Lilac Wars came out on the Super NES, so on the N64, yeah, that was one of my favorite games there. So yeah. Remember that? That's how they spoke in that game. They couldn't. I guess the thing couldn't really handle voices too well, so it just said. But I did have some voices on it though. It did have some voices on it. Like you could hear things like oh no and stuff like that. But most of it was like You know, when it had like long speeches, but back when we was like, man, this is amazing. That's what I was saying. What time when this was younger, so I stopped working after. And it's also because she was challenging, but turns out she lost them. And my youngest now also going through. Since when also, she just reminded me of this Wars game I got for. That was the most infuriating game I ever played. Oh, if I can imagine, yeah, 11 games back then. Like, broke or something. You know, apparently, like, I didn't know this until like years later, but apparently at least a few games, like back in the 80s, were shipped broken or incomplete. And they were just made like really hard so that you'll never get to the last bit anyway. But apparently a lot of, well, I say a lot, but certainly a few games were either shipped broken or shipped as a like where you just can't actually complete them. So something always happened where you just cannot beat a certain level, and then because of that there's no other level afterwards. You think like, you know, there's something else afterwards. No, there's nothing. Like people like check the codes like some years later or whatever, and like, yeah, there's actually nothing after that. The game just was never completed. You know, I can't remember which game it was. I know ET was one of them, and then there's some other ones they mentioned as well. But yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. We talk about games being broken on release now, but back then they just were like, yeah, let's make the level so hard nobody actually completes it, and then we don't have to bother completing the rest of the game. That was a thing. Traded as the last game in all the Buster Busts. This much better game. Alright. I'm gonna take a quick little break for about 4 or 5 minutes ish. If you guys can stick around, that'd be swell. But yeah, I'm gonna take a little break. I might play some more Alex Kidd afterwards, or I might not bother. We'll see how I'm feeling. But yeah, be back in just a little bit, and I'll see y'all soon. I is back, y'all. I is back. Just catching up the chat a little bit as well. Oh yeah, yeah. I think there could definitely be very well. Maybe not say definitely, but I think it's highly likely there's probably a lot of adults out there with undiagnosed all kinds of conditions. I mean, whether or not this is something that's always been there and it just wasn't diagnosed because we didn't have the, say, know-how back then, or whether it's a modern issue, I guess that's debatable. I think I'll probably best to leave that to people who research these things. But yeah, you know, I mean, things like dyslexia, for example, I know that's kind of been around a while, but back in the day, it just wasn't a thing. Like, they wouldn't call it dyslexia, they'd just say you're being silly or lazy or all that kind of stuff. It's something sort of later on when people realize that there's more to it. So yeah, maybe there's a little bit of both. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's been around a while, but undiagnosed, they don't know what to call it. And maybe there's also a new influx of things due to some other events. So yeah, maybe a little bit of both. But yeah, definitely not a good idea to do any kind of self-diagnosis online, especially if you are the anxious type. Well, we're all got anxiety, of course, but you know, especially I just feel like if you're a bit more prone to anxiety attacks and that kind of thing, you definitely don't want to be self-diagnosing yourself. Like, it's a bad idea anyway. But yeah, especially. So good, Sam. We got you, man. We got you. We got you. Alright. Oh, you just jumped into this son of a... This is fine. Crash. I hate this game, man. I've come too far just to come this far. So first meeting to this was 4 years, man. Is that normal for it to take that long, or is that like... Is that just like people just need to get a move on, like 4 years? Because that's like 4 years of not knowing. 4 years of wondering, is it this, is it that, is it something else? Ish. It's too easy to miss the middle. Partly because when we moved back to how her paperwork was lost, so it was the... Oh, I see. Wait, paperwork though? Don't NHS keep digital records? NHS though, I ain't gonna lie, man. Sometimes they be letting it down. I mean, I'm glad to the NHS. I definitely would rather have them than not have them. But I ain't gonna lie, man. Sometimes NHS be letting it down. So I got like maybe a few years ago now, I got a message from the NHS saying that that I qualified for a free flu jab. Yeah, what up, XSplit? I qualified for a free flu jab. Now, the thing about flu jabs is that when you start qualifying for them, it's when you're like 60 or something like that. And I ain't that old, so I'm thinking, how do I qualify for a free flu jab? Apparently, it's because when I was born, I had a heart defect. So it's like, that's on my record. Oh, flipping out. Because that was on my record, they were like, yeah, now you qualify for a free flu jab. And it's like, how are you keeping like some obscure thing from like 40 years ago, but you lose paperwork? That's crazy, man. NHS be letting it down. Is it just me, or did this game downgrade the last time I saw it? Nah, it's so good. We can make it look more modern if you want to. But I would say Xplex, this is not a downgrade. This is how I remember it from probably when I was younger than you, when I was a wee lad, when I was a wee little nipper. How you doing, X? Oh, flipping out. How's your day going? How's your day been? Appreciate you joining this live stream. Still working our way through Alex Kidd. And all this stuff we got to do again. Ugh. I guess I can't be too mad, because when I was playing this game, back in the day when I was playing this game, you had to start the entire game all over again when you lost all your lives. At least we don't gotta do that. Oh man, you can do it. I appreciate that, Reese. Appreciate that. Street Fighter 2 the other day. That was hard. All Street Fighter 2 as well. Old school Street Fighter. All that new school nonsense. I keyed. So I know the challenges we face, and so we gotta get mad when people say I have undiagnosed autism. I cried when he told me no, because I was sad. Yeah, and oh, damn it. Yeah, I get that. I think I can understand that. I mean, not that specific. Of course, I don't mean like that, but I think I can understand what you mean by that. Just like years of not knowing, and now it's like, okay, this sucks, but at least I know, you know. At least I don't have to wonder what's in it, what's going on. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, oof, nice man. Diagnosed with CPTSD. Oh, that PTSD. That's I mean that's a form of PTSD. I'm not sure what the C stands for. Let me try and find out. CPTSD. Okay, Google's not helping me out right now. So I know PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. What's the C bit stand for? But yeah, PTSD is no joke, man. Like, and the thing is, like, I mean, you know this, I'm sure, but it's like you could you never know what's gonna trigger you. Like, you never know what's gonna like trigger a PTSD episode, like a panic or you know what I mean. Like it could be something. I mean, depending on what you went through, depending on how long you went through it, depending on all kinds of different things, you don't know what that thing that's going to kind of take you back to those moments. You know, complex just means like it's not from any individual event. From a system. Oh, I see. So from one individual event. See, it's for complex. I see. I got you. I got you. That's sad, man. Yeah. You went around to no one more this and yeah, any other face the possibilities around that system. Possibly told you I told what you know is true is a relief because I'm told no, it's the question of what is it then? Yeah. That's similar to what my mom was like. Never read that, but okay. A child called it. I'm sorry for what you went through, man. It's, I haven't read that book, but something's telling me that it's not nice at all. Or man, that's the thing, where you never know what people are going through, what people have been through. You know. And everybody's not everybody, of course, but a lot of times people are so quick to get angry over things, so quick to shout at people, so quick to call people this, that, and the third. You're an idiot. You're a this. You're a that. You're a whatever, right? But you never know what people have been through, what their lives have been like, what they've been through up until that day, for them to act the way they're acting, to say the things that they're saying. You just don't know. But yet we're always so quick to be like, oh well, they're this and they're that, and they're this and they're that, and it's so dismissive, so it's so dismissive to do that, because it's very reductory, was Dave Pelzer. Okay, really good book. But yeah. Never hurts to be kind. This bit. Okay. Oh. The cow systematic abuse he suffered. It's horrible. No, we should have to go through that, man. But I hope you got the help you needed, though. Once it was diagnosed. Why is he sliding when I don't want him to slide? I actually read a book years ago when I was in school. Well, technically my teacher read it. I mean, I did eventually read it. But at the time my teacher read it. And it's called Goodnight, Mr. Tom. And that was about a child during, got him, during like the World War II, where he was sent away to live with this guy called Mr. Tom. And as he's living with him, as the story kind of develops, it's kind of like unfolds how much he was abused by his mother. Oh, flipping out, I just walked into this stupid thing. Good night, Mr. Tom. Good film. Well, I mean, I did see the film they made. But I'm not sure it did the book justice, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's one of my favorite books, mainly because I remember my teacher reading it to me at the time, and she would do the voices of all the different characters. She must have read that book hundreds of times, I'm sure, but she would do the voices of all the characters, and it was such a cool experience being read to like that. And so years later, I read it myself. Yeah. Oh, they did a decent job. Well. Oh, well. Yeah. I mean, the film was, I think, like an hour and a half. And that book, in my opinion, should have been at least a 2.5, maybe 3 hour movie. But hey, different opinions on that. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I was put in the severe category. They said I would benefit from therapy. There was, they were probably right, but screw that. I opened those kind of worms. Oof. Yeah, that's the thing about therapy that scares a lot of people, or maybe not scares, isn't maybe the right word to use, but maybe puts off might be a better way of saying it. But the idea of opening up to somebody You know, that's a big. I mean, even though okay, yeah, it's confidential. They're not gonna tell nobody. At least they better not tell nobody. Um, the idea of like just bearing your soul to somebody like that on such a deep personal level, like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a big ask. Yeah, that could have been longer. Yeah. I guess to be fair, like my view of the film was always going to be tainted by the fact that it wasn't my teacher reading the book to me. You know what I mean? Like, because I was in primary school, I would have been like, I don't know, pre double digits, like maybe 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, that kind of age. And I can remember, you know, the class would be sitting on the floor cross-legged and everything, and she'd be reading the book to us. And in fact, I remember her name, Mrs. Woodford. She's my favorite teacher in primary school. Probably my favorite teacher ever, actually, to be fair. Um, but yeah, she would be sitting down, um, and she'll read the book to us. But yeah, she'll do the different voices for all the different characters, and it was such a cool and awesome experience at the time. Somebody reading like, cause it's something, because it's like, because anybody could, not anybody, but you know, you could pretty much get most people to read a book to you, right? Or just make you read it themselves. Like a lot of teachers will make you read a book yourself, which is fine. You know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but the experience of somebody reading it to you, especially reading it with so much passion, you know, that was a big that yeah, it was definitely a big impact on me. And yeah, so I read that book myself like years later. Great book. Sad, you know, really tragic. Um, but yeah, that's sort of movie, and I was just kind of like, yeah, tainted views. Well, the thing about the book Holes, I love the book, but when I watched the movie, I was messing it down. Okay, I think we have opposite opinions on books to films because I liked that book and I liked that movie. Oh man, we might have opposite opinions on books to films, Reese. I think. Look up the book. Yeah, that's probably fair. I mean, I don't think I haven't read the book or seen the movie for a long time now, so I'm sure I've forgotten a bunch of stuff. But yeah, that's probably fair. Uh, I remember there was down the bit about the pig being carried up the hill and stuff. I remember there was something. I can't remember if this was the book or the film. I think it was in the book. And I think they might have hinted at it in the film. I don't remember, but I feel like they maybe hinted it, but they didn't actually go any kind of deep into it. But one of the teachers was talking about like this guy that would come to help her, and he was like, "Oh, I'll fix that. I can fix that." And there was like an issue with that, you know, because she was a white teacher and a black handyman, but they never specified that specifically. They never specified, oh, it's because of, and they never actually specified that, but it's heavily implies that's what's going on. And they kind of hint at it in the movie, I think, but they don't really delve into it in any kind of real way. If I'm well, like I said, it's been a while, so I might not be remembering that clearly. Of Mice and Men was my favorite school bookend movie. Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people that's a good read and a good, yeah. I've not seen a movie or read the book for that one, but yeah, Of Mice and Men. Is that Ernest Hemingway? Is that right? I'm just trying to sound intelligent, by the way. Let me see here. Let's see how close I am, or how close I'm not. John Steinbeck was written by John Steinbeck. So yeah, I failed at sounding intelligent. My bad. It was Ernest Hemingway then. Okay, he wrote a bunch of books I ain't never read. Louis Sasha, if I remember right. Holes. Yeah, that was LeBeau. Something LeBeau. LeBouf. The guy from Transformers. Shia LaBeouf. That was Shia LaBeouf before he made it famous. Yes, Louis Sasha, I was right. Louis Sasha. Still the dumb, I love that book. He was even Stevens. He might have been. Yeah, that I didn't see. But Shia LaBeouf was, you know, at one time he was the promising young Hollywood star, right? Oh, too close. And yeah, he was like coming up. He was doing the big movies and oh flipping hell! I'm supposed to get through this though, and then it just starts to fall apart. You know, this game's flipping hell. I might just put on that cheat, but maybe next time. I don't remember this game being this hard. I must have had the most amount of time on my hands back then. If I had time to get good at this game, like. It was a kid's show back in the day, and as a Sabrina Teenage Witch, Dina Warrior Princess days. Okay, yeah. Gee. So I bloody feel this stupid game. Man, how did I get good at this when I was a kid, man? I must have just been more patient, I guess. But yeah, and I remember Sabrina Teenage Witch, Melissa Hart. She also did Clarissa Explains It All or something like that. And Xena Warrior Princess, yeah, I remember that show as well with I forget the actress's name, but yeah, her. It was like a Hercules spin-off. Good old days. I mean, that would have been, I guess, what, 2000s, I think? That would have been around, I think, around 2000s-ish, around that sort of time. It was a good time, actually. It was a good time. Because 2000s, I think, for me, that would have been sort of 20s. So I'd have been at an age where it's like, you're old enough to do the cool stuff, but you're still young and stupid to get away with doing stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's that you're at that age where, yeah, you know, you're old enough to like be sensible, but you're still young enough to be stupid. So it's like, yeah, that's a good age, man. That's a good age. Could get a pack of playing Maxwell VHS tapes if I was lucky with the monthly shop and tape a load of stuff. Oh yeah. Mate, still got some of those like stuff recorded off the TV from years ago. Like they're probably not gonna get watched anytime soon. But yeah, still got them. Just like all these like tapes and labels and stuff, just like football matches or whatever it was, and shows and this, that, and the other. Just been probably don't even work no more, man. It's probably like all the. I'm sure that the tape is probably all ruined by now. Hey. Label, yeah. Old enough to know better, young enough to learn. More like old enough to know better, young enough to not give a damn. It's more like that. I ain't learning nothing. Nah, 20s, I think like 20 to about 25. Actually, no, let's say about 18 to about 25. Because that's when you're coming into like your adult years, like 18, you know, and up to about 25 is where I guess you start to be you start to become a little bit more. I'm generalizing, of course, so everybody's different, but I think you generally start to become a bit more noticeably responsible around about sort of 25-ish. Not that you're fully responsible at that age. Of course, you're still young. You still could do stupid stuff. But I feel like around about that age is where you start to become a bit more noticeably more responsible, generally speaking. You can't piss yeah, not too much. You know, you got a job at that point. It's like, man, gotta start paying bills and stuff. Trying to figure out how to move out of your parents' house. It's like, man, with these rent prices, you know, it's like that's that kind of age. But yeah, like when you're sort of 18 to about 25, I feel like that's kind of your peak partying time. It's your peak. I mean, of course, you're gonna learn things. That's life. But the lessons you learn are not so much, you know, like academics or whatever. It's or you know, like that kind of thing, or you know, financial lessons. I mean, those are important stuff too, of course. But the lessons you learn are more like life lessons, and the thing is that you don't necessarily realize that's what's happening at that time. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you fall in love with a girl, and that girl's just no good for you. You know what I mean? Like you go through that sort of stuff, right? But it's, at the time, you might not necessarily realize what you were doing wrong, or what you know, or you know what you should have been looking out for. You don't realize all that stuff at the time. It's not until years later that it's like, okay, I understand that now. But you're at that age where, you know, you could just like mess up and get things wrong and screw around and, you know, make mistakes and all of that, you know. And it could be fun, it could be devastating, it could be anything in between, you know. But that's the age, that's like the peak perfect age for all of that stuff, you know. Like, I feel like if you miss out on that stuff at that age, it's, I don't know, man, it feels to me like it's difficult to, you know what I mean? Because you ever get to like, or you ever know somebody who's, I don't know, like in their 40s or 50s or something, and or older, and they seem to always want to do stuff that your average 18, 20-year-old is doing, like partying and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, of course it's cool to party at any age. I ain't saying that, and I ain't say just because you're a certain age you must never go to parties. So it's not what I'm saying at all. But just like there's like, I think there's a feeling of, you realize you've missed out on so much when you were young, that when you get to your older age, like, you're trying to rekindle that. But at that point, all your friends, they've all moved on, and young people don't want to be hanging around no 60-year-old. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the age, like that 18 to 25. That's the peak perfect age to get your partying done, to get your mistakes done, you know, to get all of that silliness, not, well, maybe not all, but certainly a lot of it done in that kind of age range. We never had a chance at owning our own homes, our generation. And oh, no, for sure, it's difficult. Even, well, now it's just even harder. I think that's what I love about midlife nicest things about trying to desperately grab any sense of nostalgia from the plot. Yeah, yeah. Trying to live that life you never got to live. And I guess we all have that to some degree, right? We all, I mean, because all, I mean, whatever life you've lived, no matter how cool it was, how much fun you had, there's always something you didn't do. You're right. There's always gonna be some cool thing that you wanted to do that you didn't do. So I feel like we all have that to some level anyway. But yeah, there's definitely some that have it a lot more than others, and it's just like missing out so much on just those times where you had to have fun. You know what I mean? Because we all hear about the guy who, you know, he's a millionaire by the time he was 21 or something like that, and we all say, oh, he was successful, he's great, and that's amazing, it's this and that. But then, and that's, you know, cool. I ain't saying, you know, it's a bad thing, but then that person almost certainly missed out on a lot of stuff because you're working so much. Like, that guy became a millionaire at a young age because it was spent so much time working, and then has to keep working to maintain it, and then gets to like, you know, 40, 50 years old, and it's like, man, I've missed out on so much. Michael Jackson actually is an example of that. Like, he did not have a regular childhood, right? And I think he's talked about that in documentaries. Like, he missed out on so much that he got to his adult years and he practically just lived like a child. You know, when he wasn't making music, he just lived like a child, to the point where he may or may not have done some stuff that he really shouldn't have been doing, allegedly. Yeah, you could let go. Same with people like Ronnie O'Sullivan might be the don on a snooker table, but expensive is like, right? Sure, yeah, exactly. Like all those sort of like, or anybody who's like really good at something. Like if you take anybody who's like exceptionally good at something, right? You gotta think, how many hours did they put into that to be that good? How much time did it take to become that good? So there's so much that you're not doing. You know, there's so many, you know, like it's not a surprise to me you come across some of these like stars who are like really good at something, but their character is off, because that makes sense to me. You know, that makes sense to me that they wouldn't necessarily have an understanding of how to talk to people, because they spent so much of their life just being in this craft that they're not practicing basic human communication skills. So when it comes to like just talking to people, they might come across as blunt, or not really explaining themselves that well, or just kind of weird, you know, because their whole thinking is completely different, like madly different. So yeah, there's like pros and cons to everything. Everything has a cost, you know. You can be an expert in a field, but it's going to cost you something. You can have lots of money, but it's going to cost you something, you know. Likewise, you can have lots of fun right now, but it's going to cost you something. You know, everything will cost you something, and it's just as you get older, you kind of realize that more. So as you get older, you tend to like weigh out what is it going to cost you, and whether that cost is worth it. And a lot of times you're going to say to yourself, you know, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But when it is worth it, then you know you go all in. You go all in, no complaints, and you deal with it. This day and time, youngsters loves being around with oldsters. Well, I don't know what kind of youngsters you be hanging around with, but actually it depends really. I guess some young folk don't want to hang around with some older folk, but I think it depends on how old the youngers are and how old the olders are. Like, let's be most 20-year-olds are not trying to take their parents to the club. You know what I mean? They're not trying to take their mama and their grandma to the club. Most of them are not doing that. It does happen. I've seen it happen, but most of them are not trying to do that. Sneakerhole brought him up as he'll be alright with his millions. Well, hopefully he can afford the therapy at least. Every move is carefully controlled. Yeah. Have no real autonomy. Yeah, it's nice to have control over their own life. Yeah, everything will cost you something, man. And it's just whether that cost is worth it or not. And if it's not, cool, walk away. If it is, alright then, we do this. The price of fame, yeah. Yeah, price of fame, price of being a star. Yeah, some of them do sell their souls. I mean, maybe not in that literal sense, but pretty much, you know. Pretty much. And hey, you know what? It's your soul to sell. I ain't here to judge. I'm just saying. Let's call a spade a spade. Oh, wait, excuse me. Oh, man, excuse me. Oosh. Orlando. Souls. But yeah, man. Life is a lot of things. Life is a lot of things. Some good, some bad, some in between. Probably very complicated, I know that for sure. You know, you don't always know if you're making the right choice until maybe it's even too late. Right? It could be like that, right? You don't know if you're making the right choice until it's too late. It's like, yeah. And then it's like, yeah, should have done that, should have done this, but it's too late. It's too late, it's too late. Oh, that's a wrong one. There we go. I'm sure we're supposed to be collecting firewood and stuff. Yeah. Might not be such a bad idea, actually. Some are meant to exist, and some ain't. Just the way it is. Some are meant to exist. What do you mean some are meant to exist? Like people? Or like, what are we talking about? Like, wait, what? Some are meant to exist and some ain't. Remembering all the passwords and pin codes and sticking to lines on the road and stopping at red lights, and doing tax returns and all the rest. Mental, really. Constantly wondering, there's gotta be more to life than this. Ooh, this is different. So-called people. I mean, people are people. Oof. Yeah, people are people. Some people are good people, some people are bad people, but at the end of the day, people are people. It's yeah, it's an impossible game. Now, I do think sometimes we attach an unnecessary attribute to certain things, like, you know, sometimes we say things like a real man does this, you know, or a real woman does that, or this person's not human because they did this bad thing. And the reality is that they are human, they are a man, they are a woman. It's just sometimes people do bad things, you know. There's no inherent attribute that comes with being any type of person. Some people are good people, some people are bad people. Some of those are men, some of those are women. Some of those are religious, some of those are not. Some of those are political, some of those are not. But we're all people. We just do different things, you know. But there comes, like, I just feel like it's almost, it becomes a way of dehumanizing somebody when we're not really acknowledging the humanity of every person. I think this is a hard level. Why did I pick this? Like, if somebody is your enemy, they're your enemy for a reason, but they are still human. They are still people. I'm not jumping twice on this thing. You know, they are still people. It's just they're people who have done something to you that you don't like. Eesh. Well, you already know I got the maddest for majority of people. I think most people are doing their best in survival mode. Most people are massively conditioned to the point where they can't cross a road without a green man telling them it's okay. I mean, to be fair, that's probably a good thing. You don't really be walking out on the road before that green man comes up. It might not go so well. You know what I mean? That's probably one rule you might want to stick to. I mean, I know laughs about breaking rules, but maybe don't break that one, just because might actually not go so well if you do. I think like we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. That's why you want people to be able to critically think also. No, for sure. No, I think I get what you mean. But yeah, we're so used to being told what to do, when to do it, that we get so used to that it becomes difficult to make decisions because you're constantly second guessing yourself. Am I doing this right? You know, when you kind of grow up where somebody's always telling you what to do, or somebody's always correcting you about something, you know, when you get away from that, and it's, you know, you're trying to do things and it's, am I doing this right? You're constantly second guessing yourself. You're constantly wondering, am I missing something? And you could be doing everything perfect, but it's like you just constantly second guess yourself constantly, and your confidence in what you're doing and whether or not you're doing it right, and it's so low because you're always being told this is what to do, this is what to do, this, do that, do that, do this, do this, do that, do that, do this. This is wrong, do that better, do, you know what I mean? And then by the time you're on your own, you have no confidence in your own ability to make a sandwich, as you know what I mean? It could be like that. I go by my own saying, I will trust the pack of wolves before the ones with two legs. I view everyone as a potential enemy. Well, I mean, everyone is a potential enemy. That is true. But also they're a potential friend. You know, they're a potential enemy. They're also a potential friend. They could be potentially trying to harm you. They could be potentially trying to help you. Like before you get bitten. I would say that's in general. I disagree with that rule, that way of looking at things. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think sometimes you do need to strike first. There are definitely times where it is important that you bite first, so to speak. But I think in general, you should let somebody bite you before you bite back. And the reason being is that if you're always biting first, you never know if you're biting the right people. You know what I mean? You never know if you're just biting somebody that's actually going to benefit you. You never know if you're biting somebody who's actually a good person, who's a kind person, who's trying to help you. If you're just constantly seeing people as, oh, they're going to attack me one day, so I'm going to attack them first. You know, so I think sometimes you just have to risk. I mean, that's part of life. You're going to get hurt, right? You're going to get hurt. It's not if, it's when. You will get hurt. And you just have to accept that as part of going through life, in order to get the most out of life and the most enjoyment out of life and the most satisfaction with anything. You have to be willing to risk getting hurt. If you're not willing to risk getting hurt, you're not living. You know, you're not living. You're just getting by, or like you said, you're in survival mode, but you're not really living. You know, if you're constantly like on the attack, you're not really living. It's like, what's the point of doing anything if you're not really living? You know, what are we doing this for at that point? Like, what are we protecting if we're not really living? If we're, you know, if we're just constantly attacking. So yeah, it's like there are times where you have to be like, you know what, this is a situation where I'm gonna have to go attack first. That happens. That's part of it as well, knowing that. But that's not all the time. That's maybe a few times. Most times it's like, you know what, I'm gonna have to see this out, and if it turns out they're a bad person and I get hurt, then okay, I have to, that's something I'm gonna have to deal with. But until you know, yeah. Nah, they ain't people or human, they're creatures from that point on. Periods don't know about you, how you about that, but as for me, it's be even watch them suffer and die. The fucking out. I forget. Shoot them while they're still loading or wounded. Yeah. But the thing is, though, like, I mean, you might say they're creatures and whatever, but I mean, you still go to prison for killing somebody. Like, I mean, when they take you to court, you can't use the, oh, they were creatures. I don't think that will work, to be honest with you. They're creatures. Like, no, they were people. You know, had a mother and a father, born. Doctor said they were human. You know what I mean? Like, they have rights protected by laws. So yeah, I mean, you could shoot them while they're loading their gun, but I don't know. It might not go so well for you. I'm just saying. But to be honest, I do believe that if you are constantly on the attack, you have to ask yourself, like, what is my life about? Like, seriously, what is my life about? Like, what am I protecting? What is so important in my life? What am I doing that is so important that I have to kill somebody to protect it? Like, that's an important question, I think, that doesn't get asked enough. Like, what is so important about my life and the things that I'm doing in my life that I have to shoot this person before he shoots me? Like, what am I actually doing? What am I protecting? You know, what am I living for? Because I think sometimes we're just, like you say, just in survival mode. Like, what am I actually doing? Like, what is my life about? You know, how many of us actually have things to live for? You know, and I know that sounds morbid, and it kind of is, but I think there's a lot of us out there that are just going through the motions, just, you know, just because it's what you do. You know, you get a job, you go to work, you need to pay your bills, you know, watch some TV, you go to work, you know, rinse, repeat. What am I actually doing? You know, I think it's more important to create a life where, for one thing, you don't have people shooting at you. You know, that might be a good place to start. Create a life where you don't have people shooting at you. But yeah, just something that is actually important to you. Like, build a life around positivity rather than negativity, because then it's like, what's the point? What's the point of living and being upset all the time and being angry that somebody did something that you didn't like? Because like, people are gonna do things you don't like. That's life, bro. I mean, there's 8 billion people in the world. Somebody's gonna do something you don't like. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you should, nobody should be going through life thinking everything's going to go their way. You set yourself up for disappointment at that point. You know, you set yourself up for disappointment. Most days, nothing will go your way. You know, if you're lucky, it might sort of go your way. Sorta. And even then, it's like probably not exactly the way you want. But yeah, people are going to do things you don't like. That's the world, you know. You're not in control of others. You're only in control of yourself and how you choose to live and how you choose to get by. Now, you know, if you want to choose to be miserable, that's your business, right? You know, I ain't here to judge nobody. I'm just saying, you literally would be happier if you chose to live and focus on positivity rather than negativity. And that's not even like, you know, liberal, leftist, whatever. That's just, you know, logic. Choosing to do things that make you happy will increase your happiness, and choosing to focus on the things that make you happy, that you actually like, rather than focusing on all the stuff that you don't like, you will be happier. Back before you get a response. You just do. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. Trauma responses. Yeah. Very highly overly sensitive to any kind of kickoff. I'm guessing you don't go around just picking fights with people, though. I'm guessing. I don't know. Reese might tell me, actually, every night, every Saturday night, I go down the pub and just beat somebody up because I feel like it. But yeah. But no, I get that. I get that. Just certain things is kind of like, yeah, a trigger. Keep in mind, you're a creature to them too, and I just pray and wish for an aghast existence for their asses, but I won't be nothing to them unless do something to me first. Oh, won't do nothing. Okay, gotcha. I mean, yeah, people are gonna view us all kinds of things. I mean, they're gonna view us this, to view us that. You know, honestly, what people think of you is none of your business. You know, what people think of you is none of your business until they make it your business. Right? That could happen. Sometimes people make it your business, but for the most part, what people think of you is none of your business. It's like they're gonna think it, let them think it. It's like whatever. Unless they're trying to do something. I think 90% of blokes are in survival mode in this country. So you could ask themselves the question, what the fuck is this all about? Yeah. 10%. And those filled up bikes and Hey, you know, those Brompton bikes can go pretty fast though. Like, I see people in Brompton bikes. I'm like, how are you faster than me? It's like, them things can go pretty fast still. Like, alright, I see you. Because it's like mad looking, dorky looking bike, but it's like, how are you going faster than me? Like, what's going on? You already know how I roll. But hey, enough forgiveness. It ain't for everyone. Oh, I guess so. Let's do that. Drop down spider effect. Just wait. Yeah. Ugh. We'll try the original level. when I was doing Oosh. Hey. Eesh. I wouldn't be seen dead on one of those things. I don't know, dead if I tried to ride one anyway. Yeah, no, I've no inclination of getting a fold up bike, but I just remember like when I was cycling a bit more, and I'd be on these. I'd have a you know, regular bicycle, kind of a road bike, right? And be cycling along. You see these like guys, these Bromptons, and they look so like they actually look awkward. I'm sure they're probably more comfortable than they look. I'm sure, but they look really awkward. They've got tiny wheels. You know, they look very dorky. And then this guy's just going right past me, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? Another one. It's like, how are you faster than me with them little ass wheels? Like, what is going on? I don't know. Maybe they got like an electric motor or something on them. I don't know. Maybe. Next, that came off one of those micro scooters. Snapped a cruciate tendon in a knee. Oh, that I don't know what that is, but shit, that sounds painful. That sounds painful. Yeah. Oh man, you really gotta get the timing so right with this game though. Like, ugh. And the main tendon thing, she couldn't move her leg. They had to transfer some transplant some tendons from her thigh and all sorts of dangerous little things. Oosh. Those are pogo sticks that smashed into the side of your knees. Yeah, you could kind of jump around on them things. I never tried them, but yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Lunatics on pogo sticks, number 75 freak on the crucifix. Hicks don't mix with politics. It goes right where your knees were. You know, some of these things like that's why they're just not designed well at all. When you think about it. Like, how are you making a pogo stick and putting like bolts where the knees are? It's like, who don't they test these things? Like, people in like the Q&A testing going, actually this is just hurting my knees right now. Maybe we should move these bolts or something. Like, we used to put up with, no, for sure. But yeah, we used to put up with a lot back in the day. We used to put up with too much. That's one of the things I think the young folk got right now, is that they don't put up with no kind of bollocks. Now, I think it's probably fair to say that in some cases, some of them maybe complain a little bit too much. But I like that a lot of young folks today just don't put up with any kind of nonsense. Like, they make their boundaries clear and they uphold their boundaries, and I think that's a good thing. Because back in my day, yeah, we weren't doing that, and we should have been. Like, we would have let people, like, you know, treat you like garbage because that's what it seemed like that's the thing to do. Or, you know, you don't say anything when if you had a boss just like being rude or whatever, you just kind of keep quiet about it because like, oh, it's your boss, you know. That's what's saying nothing, you know. You just kind of put up with it. But yeah, young kids today, they're like, nah, we're not doing that, and they shouldn't have to. They should not have to. Nobody should have to. But yeah, we put up with a lot. And I know it's not quite what you meant, but I'm just saying we put up with a lot. I can't even. Why is the timing on my timing so off on this though? Like being there, yeah. Ish. Yeah, the apprenticeship stage where it's just acceptable to be treated like crap, yeah. So once they send a message real quick. But yeah, man, like I remember like one place I worked in, there was this guy, and this is at a point in my life where I'm like, I really don't want to be putting up with nobody's nonsense. Like I'm like well past, you know, putting up with that stuff at this point, right? And I remember this guy was talking about how, yeah, you know, when he was working, like how your boss, how his boss would call him, or, you know, all these kinds of names, and this, and you know, and when they did that, you know, just you need to get on with the work and that kind of thing, right? But he was saying it like it was a good thing. Like the way he was saying it was like it's a good thing that his boss called him all these names or cussed him out and that kind of thing. I'm thinking like, that's not good though. Like that's no, like if you can't do your job, then, or if you're not doing your job rather, then your boss or your manager needs to find ways that are a lot more productive than cussing you out. And if they can't do that, you know, then they can't be doing that job. Like that's not okay. Or if you can't do the job, if you actually just have an inability to do the job, then that's a whole nother issue. But nobody should be getting cussed out by their boss and then whatever years later talking like it was a good thing. Oh yeah, you know, it's just one of those things that you. But at the same time, it's like I know that I've put up with that shit as well. So it's like, that's not okay, man. That's not okay. You're a nice, friendly guy, so I know that's how you see them. So like I just was always remember you're a creature to your enemies also. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I am, but whatever. You know, I mean, I guess technically we are all creatures, right? If you want to get into the technicals of it, but I mean, like I say, people who don't like me are gonna think all kinds of things about me. I can't help that. So it's like, why stress myself over something I can't control? It's just they're gonna think what they're gonna think. It's cool. They can keep that to themselves. If they're bringing it my way, then that's a different story. You know, if you're coming to me with calling me whatever, then yeah, that's a different story. Now we're gonna deal with it. But as long as they can keep to themselves, then hey, what they think about me is none of my business. I never to underestimate anyone else, regardless of their age. Or indeed, indeed. And so most folk tell young folk in this day and age to bus to the back of the bus. There won't be much of that bus left over. It's true. Get to the back of the bus. Yeah, you can't tell us get to the back of the bus. I have rights. Yeah, but we're doing an inspection here, so we just need you to move to the back of the bus. Thank you. I actually need to fix these seats, so if you don't mind moving to the back of the bus, that'd be great. Needs to be a school bus driver today, that's for sure. Yeah, it's a different time. It's a different time. But I think, yeah, that kind of job is highly going to depend on which school bus you're driving, right? Like if you got a school bus where, you know, the kids are pretty chill, you know what I mean? They do their thing, they have their fun, but they kind of keep it chill, then you're doing all right. If you got a school bus where everybody's just like throwing stuff around, you know, throwing stuff at you, then yeah, it might be a little bit different. Let's hate the kids after a bit. Man, I love working with children. I just hate these damn kids. I do 2 minutes of that and I drive the bus. Yeah, maybe don't apply for that job then. Next time you see like in Total Jobs, whatever, school bus driver wanted, maybe don't apply for that job. It's like, yeah, just leave that one alone. It's good. Imagine applying for a job as a school bus driver, and in an interview you saying something like, "Man, if those kids start pissing me off, I'm gonna drive the bus off the cliff." You say that in an interview, and like, when can you start? When can you start? You're perfect for this position. Wait, what? But yeah, I guess like I said before, you gotta be honest, man. You gotta be honest. I'm young bull, so I do get where most of them are coming from. On the other hand, a lot of them are acting up for it's because nobody or not enough grown folks kicks their asses at home. Well, I mean, I don't know about kicking kids' asses. That's probably, I think we find different ways, unless you made that figuratively speaking. But yeah, maybe not beating up kids in your houses. I don't know, maybe not such a good thing. But yeah, no, I think yeah, when you have people who are just too entitled, well, no, any kind of entitlement is a bad thing, really. But it's good to be confident in yourself and have enough confidence in yourself that you're not putting up with people disrespecting you or people treating you like garbage and calling you all kinds of names that you shouldn't be putting up with that. But then, yeah, you do hear about the ones every now and then where it's like they'll just ask to do their job and they go on TikTok complaining and acting like it's some kind of abuse. It's like, no, you're just paid to do your job. You're being asked to do the job that you've been paid to do. Like, that's not abuse. That's working life. I mean, it sucks, sure, but it's not abuse. Just chill out, guys. Just chill out. I mean, you do see them ones as well, and yeah, those are probably the ones that just got a bit too entitled. Those are the ones that maybe had everything handed to them when they were kids or something like. Those guys, yeah. House on school campus at neighborhood. Also, things I desperately need back. Yeah, see that I disagree with. That I disagree with. Like, I'm not. Here's the thing, like, real talk. I'm not, strictly speaking, fully against the idea of parents beating their children. like not entirely. I don't, however, believe it should ever be a first response. And the problem, I think, with that is that it often is a first response. It should be an absolute last resort, and even then, only if it's like, I get it, like some kids can benefit from a beating. I've seen that. I think we've all seen that. You know, sometimes you got arse whooping from your parents, and it kind of straightens you out a little bit. So I get it that there is a case where you can say it was beneficial, right? But the benefits are far outweighed by the cons of it, by the negative sides of it. When it's just done too often, too much, and when you're not really looking at other ways that you can, you know, teach discipline to kids. You find a lot of kids grow up, and yeah, they might remember those times where, oh yeah, I got beats by my parents, and you know, I stopped doing this thing, and yeah, okay, that's maybe the good side of it. But then a lot of kids grow up, and it's like they have like confidence issues. They can't, or they struggle to function as an adult. You know what I mean? Like there's so many other issues that come along, mental health issues that come along with it, social issues that come along with it. You know, I feel you do way more damage than good when, if you just beat your kids every time they do something wrong. Like it's yeah, like I said, I'm not entirely against it as an option. I don't believe it should ever be that frequent. If you're grown enough to talk back, you're grown enough to get backed up. And yeah, I've heard people say that. But the truth is, if you're grown enough to talk back, then you should be mature enough to talk back to them in a way that they could understand that, you know, perhaps what they're doing is not okay. I mean, here's the thing though, and this is something that I fully believe. A lot of parents, maybe even most parents, are not suitable parents. Like, a lot of people be having kids, but they're not capable parents. And that's not even a bad thing in a sense that I would say you mustn't have. No, I ain't saying that. Because everybody's going to struggle with something. But a lot of parents are not suitable parents. The problem then becomes when you're not willing to admit to yourself that you're struggling, and you think just because, you know, you're the mom, you're the dad, that you know what's right, without really having to maybe take a parenting class. You know what I mean? Like, who does that? Who takes a parenting class? They should, you know. But people have this idea that, oh, once you become a dad, once you become a mom, you just know what's best, and that's not true. It's not true. In a vast majority of cases, it's not true. But people have this idea, and it clings to it so much that they don't realize that they are introducing all the same trauma that their parents brought on them to their kids, and it just becomes this cycle of trauma that never gets broken until somebody is like, you know what, I need to do things differently. You should never be scared of your parents. Parents in class, my ass. That's the old folks will say. Yeah, that's what they would say, but they're the ones that probably need it the most. What was it? Yeah, don't tell me how to be a dad. You can't tell me how to be a man. Yeah, that's what you hear. Because it's ego talking. That's ego. But most of us would learn how to be parents from our parents, and they'll learn how to be parents from their parents, and they learn how to be parents from their parents. So it just becomes like this endless cycle of passing on trauma, because nobody's stopping to be like, you know what, this cycle needs to end. And there's always going to be problems. No one's ever going to be 100% perfect. But at the very least, you could try to not pass on the trauma that your parents passed on to you. And I don't think enough of us do that, because a lot of us are just in this idea of, well, I know what to do, I know what's best. Do you? Do you really? If you can't talk to your kids, that's a problem right there. I can tell you that right now. And I ain't nobody's daddy, but I do know that much. If you can't talk to your kids, and that is a problem right there. If your first response is to smack or to hit, that's a problem right there. Oh wait, this game froze on me for now. Not responding. Eesh. Close program. Don't mess nothing else up though. Oh, actually, look at the time. Alright, cool. No worries. Guess it's about time to start winding down now anyway. Yes, it's about time to start winding down. The parents' voice is going, the kids are on mute. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there should always be respect. But remember, respect is earned. I mean, if somebody's talking, being quiet while they're talking to you is, yeah, just common decency. Also, the kids will give their time, spotlight, and the supposed to speak their piece. Yeah, everybody gets a chance to talk. Everybody gets a chance to talk. Everybody. At least that's how it should be. Of course, it doesn't always happen that way. Alright, so on a potentially, possibly lighter note before we end today's stream, what do you guys think of the writer's strike and or the access strike more specifically, because I see a lot of people supporting it, a lot of people, you know, cheering them on, saying yeah they should strike, you know, be fit, all that sort of stuff. But to be honest with you, out of everything that I've seen, I'm not entirely sure there's a good reason for them to be on strike. Now maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's stuff that I'm missing. So there's probably loads of stuff that I'm missing that I don't understand. I'm not in the industry. I'm just saying, from what I've seen, it don't look like they have a good reason to be striking. And it seems to me more like they need maybe better lessons in contract negotiation and maybe money management. That's what it seems to me. Like I saw one guy saying that most actors live in LA, but the jobs are often outside of LA. They're in different cities or maybe even in a whole other country. And so they have to move to that part of the country on their expense. They get set up, they get a fee to help them set up, and that's it. Everything else they got to pay for, while still paying for their house back in LA. And I was kind of thinking, well, if you're not living in the house, why not sell the house? Like, or if you can't sell the house, then maybe rent it out. Like, there's other things you can do to, you know what I mean, to help out with that. Like, I don't understand how that's the issue. Like, if you can't manage two houses, why are you trying to manage two houses? That shouldn't be a reason to go on strike. That's a reason to either negotiate a better deal, if that's your situation, or figure out something that works for you that doesn't involve you having things you can't afford to keep. Like that you know what I mean? That saw Fran Drescher speaking about it on the news at some place. I think it was a council board meeting or something. Do you have any thoughts on it yourself? Yeah, I'm just I don't know. Like I say, maybe I'm not fully understanding the whole thing, but it just seems to me like this isn't a strike issue. This is a learn to do better in negotiation issue. Barbie and Oppenheimer out tomorrow. Both on the 21st of July, that's tomorrow. Well, tomorrow for me, might be today for some of you guys. But for now, next live stream is Monday, 8 p.m. GMT-ish. Even if I was a celeb, I wouldn't have gave a damn about it anyway. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, that's gonna be all for now, guys. You have been awesome as always. I appreciate you and all that you do. Thank you for keeping the company. Thank you for keeping the lively. Oh, 1 second, we save this to my watch later. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Didn't want to click on it. Didn't want to click on it. You should be taking a piss with these things, I swear down. Watch later, there we go. Yeah, next live stream should be Monday. Monday movie night, watching Commando Arnie movie. It's on Disney Plus, so get it ready on Zero. But for now, till whenever, if ever, I'm gonna find the right button. Peace.